right. It's time to get started. I did a webinar last Monday on this BOI reporting, and unfortunately, for some reason, it did not record. We had a great turnout for that webinar, but since then, I've had at least 20 plus requests for the recording. Since it did not record, I am going to just redo it tonight. Obviously, there won't be any interaction because it's just me doing it. But anyway, what I want to do is we are going to go over a little bit about what BOI reporting is, and then we're going to actually do morsel tax BOI report. Now, keep in mind, I did it last Monday. We're going to still go through the process today. It may reject my report because I've already done it, but the only difference is when you do it, you'll get an acceptance. So anyway, let's get started. FinCEN, that is the United States Treasury Financial Crimes and Enforcement Network, is going to start requiring BOI reporting. And, people ask, the first thing is, before I get really into it, I do want you to understand that this presentation is for informational purposes only. It is not meant as accounting, legal, or tax advice. It does not take into account your particular circumstances, objectives, financial situation, or needs. Before acting on any information in this presentation, you should consider the appropriateness of the information for your situation. I do want you to know that my license falls under U.S. Code 26 of the U.S. Code, Title 26 of the U.S. Code. Unfortunately, BOI reporting falls under Title 31 of the U.S. Code. Therefore, it's really outside of the scope of my license, and technically speaking, that's why I cannot do the BOI. I'm not doing BOI for anyone, no money or anything. I am doing this webinar just so you can watch me do mine. I'm not giving you any advice. I'm just showing you how I'm doing morsel tax. So one of the questions is, we got to know, what is BOI reporting? Well, it's beneficial ownership information reporting is giving FinCEN your company and personal information. FinCEN, they do have teeth. They got bite. They are looking for this because they are after, and this goes into why FinCEN is requiring this information, they're after bad actors or criminals that are hiding their identity while they're committing financial crimes in the United States of America. The Corporate Transparency Act of 2021 is intended to correct this issue. So they're building a database. And instead of going to get the information, which they could easily do, they're requiring it of you. It's just easier to build a database of millions of people if the millions of people do all the work. So the burning question is, do you have to file? Well, if your business has more than 20 employees, you can stop right now. There's no need to watch anymore. You don't have to file. If your business revenues exceed $5 million, you don't have to file. So obviously, the bigger your business, the chances are you don't have to file. See, looks like they're targeting small businesses. Or if you meet one of the following exemptions. If you're listed here on this page, if you happen to be a securities reporting issuer, a governmental authority, a bank, a credit union, you can see the list. Broker and dealer in securities. Some of y'all may be that. I don't think none of you are securities exchange or clearing agencies. If you're an investment company or an investment advisor, or if you're a venture capital fund advisor, if you're an insurance company or state licensed insurance producer, didn't say insurance broker, Commodity Exchange Act registered entity, which I don't think any of my clients are, accounting firm, public utility, financial market utility. If you're a tax exempt entity, you do not have to file. Large operating companies, or if your company's inactive, you've been administratively dissolved as Secretary of State, you don't have to file. But the rest of you need to file according to FinCEN. But if you meet one of these exemptions, you may excuse yourself now and save some time. I have been asked about HOAs. Everybody wants to know about the HOA and whether or not an HOA has to file. That has been a burning question. Let me see real quick if I can give you that answer. And again, I am not expressing any opinion. All I am doing is these are frequently asked questions that you can go look at the FinCEN website, and it addresses. As soon as I find it, it addresses homeowner associations. This was updated on October 3rd, 2024, so it's about a month, but I haven't heard a change since. It says, are homeowner associations reporting companies? In other words, are they required to file? And their answer is it depends. If your HOA is listed with the Secretary of State as a corporation, typically, chances are you're going to have to file. However, you may qualify if your HOA took it a step further and they became a 501c4, which is a social welfare organization, which makes them tax exempt. So they would be able to basically check tax exempt and not file a BOI report. However, an incorporated HOA, the last sentence, that is not Section 501c4 organization may fall within the reporting company definition and therefore be required to report BOI to FinCEN. Most HOAs that I'm aware of, they file an 1120H with the IRS. That means they are not a 501c4. So if they are filing an 1120H, that tells me that they're registered with the state, and that tells me also that they are not a social welfare organization. And according to the rules set forth by FinCEN, they would be required to file. Let's get back to our little slideshow. So that's my spiel on the HOAs. Again, you can definitely do the research yourself, but many HOAs are required to file. So when, where, and how am I supposed to file? Well, again, a current reporting company, again, I go over that definition one more time. Anybody that has registered an LLC or a corporation with the state, most of y'all are the state of North Carolina, but it can be the state of South Carolina, state of Tennessee, doesn't matter. If you're registered with the Secretary of State as an LLC or a corporation, unless you meet those exemptions I showed you before, you are required to file. Now, current reporting companies are people that were LLCs or corporations that were effective before January 1st, 2024. They have until January 1st, 2025 to file their BOI report. Now, there has been some slight modification. Once again, I'm going to keep on telling you to go check the FinCEN website. But according to their website, many parts of North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, they have been extended. They're piggybacking off the IRS, even though this isn't an IRS thing. And they are allowing an additional 6 months because of the hurricanes. Most of the people in North Carolina have until June 30th to file their BOI report, and that is because of the hurricanes. Again, there is a list of that, and I'll try to point that out when we get to the FinCEN website. Any company that was formed on or after January 1st, 2024, they have to file within 90 days. So if you've set up an LLC on February 15th, 2024, and you haven't filed your BOI, well, you're late. The good news is I don't think they're really going to penalize you, but you might want to get it in. Starting in 2025, January 1st, 2025, if you form an LLC or a corporation After January 1st, 2025, you got 30 days, not 90, 30 days to get the BOI in. I know the North Carolina Secretary of State is pushing that on their website. Any entities that we have set up, we are actually giving them a page that helps them do it. And where do you file? And how do you file? You file electronically within the FinCEN on its website. Please be careful that you go to the right website. As you can imagine, the fraud and scams around this is running rampant. And we'll talk a little bit about that once we get to the FinCEN website. So, what information do you have to give them? Well, first off, they want your company information. They want to know the legal name, including any DBAs. They want to know the address, the jurisdiction of formation. In other words, if it's a North Carolina LLC, you got to put North Carolina down. And they want the EIN of the company. So those are the information that they want on the company. Now, on top of the company, they want the beneficial owner information. So the question is, what's a beneficial owner? Well, a beneficial owner is any individual who directly or indirectly exercise substantial control over that company, or who owns or controls at least 25% of that company. So if you're an owner and you own more than 25%, they want your legal name, your birth date, an identifying number from a driver's license, state ID, or passport, and an image of that uploaded to their website. Now, notice I did not say social security number. Again, scams are running rampant. People are getting on the phones, they're calling people up, and the conversation's going like this. Hey, Craig, my name is Mike. I am with the U.S. Treasury Department and was giving you a call. Notice you hadn't filed your BOI yet. I can help you with that right now. And then people get scared. They think they got a U.S. agent on the phone. And next thing you know, that guy's being nice and he'll help out. And then you're handing all this information to someone over the phone. These people, FinCEN, are lazy, y'all. They're not going to call out. They're not reaching out. They're not mailing anything to you. So please, if anyone's coming at you pretending to be FinCEN, they are not. Now, there's a lot of businesses out there that are trying to get your money, and some of them are legitimate services. They will help you file the BOI. But all you're going to do is give them all the information that a third grader can. They're going to basically upload that information for you and charge you anywhere from, I've seen as low as $150, $200. I've seen someone doing it for $1,200. And again, literally a third grader could do it. So that is the information that they need from you. I'm not going to spend much time on this because most of y'all have a driver's license of some sort. But let's say you don't have any type of ID to offer them. FinCEN is required to do a unique identifier called a FinCEN ID for either the reporting company or the individual. This FinCEN ID can be used in lieu of the required identifying information. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't done one of these FinCEN IDs. I see it on their website. I just haven't participated in it because 99.9% of the clients that I have some form of ID. So I'm not going to spend much time on this. But what happens when the information changes? You may have a different address for the company, the beneficial owner, or owners, they may have a different address. They may get married and have a different name. Any changes that happen in name, address, driver's license number, passport number changes must be updated within 30 days of the change. Correction of an error on a BOI report must be also filed within 30 days that you became aware or should have become aware of an inaccuracy. Now, there's been a big to-do about driver's license renewals. There's talks out there saying when you get your driver's license renewed, your expiration date changes and you have to update your BOI. Because again, BOI is not an annual report. You do it once, if nothing changes, you keep on just moving on. But the driver's license people are saying, oh, well, if your expiration date changes, you have to let them know. This is one thing that I actually did contact FinCEN on. I actually called them. And I want you to know that what they're saying, and it's also on their website. Let me see if I can blow this up for you. It says if a beneficial owner obtained a new driver's license or other identifying document that includes a changed name, a changed address, or if the ID number, now driver's license numbers don't typically change. My understanding, passport numbers can and will change. But if any of those three change, the number, the name, or the address, you must update. When I spoke to FinCEN on the phone, they said expiration dates, not a big deal. You don't have to update because your driver's license. So I did want to bring that up. That's been a source of misinformation. I'm telling you what FinCEN told me, and you can see it on their website. So that's what we have to do with changes and updates. Now, obviously, you are given some non-public information. You're giving name and address, giving some information. Once again, you're not giving social security number. Please do not give out your social security number. They are supposed to keep this confidential. The information is limited to certain agencies. Obviously, the federal law enforcement, national security agencies can see this database. State and local law enforcement, but only with a court order. The Treasury Department obviously can see it. FinCEN works for them. Financial institutions with the company's consent, that's for future use. That would be like a bank. You never know. One day, FinCEN may tell Bank of America, if you hand out a loan to someone that's not registered with us, not only are they in trouble, we're coming after you, Bank of America. That is, we'll see what happens in the future. And government agencies that oversee financial institutions. Those are the people that are going to be able to access the database. FinCEN is required to implement protocols to secure BOI information. They're supposed to build a secure system to store this information and obviously establish procedures that only authorized people can use. Now, I don't know how much confidence we have in our government to do such a thing, but that is what they're required to do. So let's get to the penalties. The penalties, if you decide that you do not want to participate in their program, right now the penalty is up to $591 a day. It was $500. It has been adjusted for inflation. It's a civil penalty per day. That adds up pretty quickly. More importantly, there are criminal penalties up to $10,000 and or 2 years in prison. Now, obviously, I don't think that this is going to be enforced right away. But again, that is my personal opinion, not a professional opinion. FinCEN are the same people that actually handled the FBAR. And it took 5 to 6, 7 years before they really started tightening screws. So I'm expecting, some leniency at first. I'm hoping it goes away, but I thought it would have already gone away by now, but it has not. But anyway, I do want you to be aware of the penalties. Again, it is due January 1st, 2025, unless you live in certain parts of the country that was affected by some of the hurricanes, whether that be Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Debbie, Hurricane Milton. Those people are able to get through June 30th, I believe. And again, it is listed on the FinCEN website. So obviously, who can assist in the filing? These are the questions that are out there. Again, like I said, technically, I cannot assist. I'm not charging any money. I'm merely putting this webinar on to tell you what the FinCEN website says, and you're going to get to watch me do Morrisville tax. You're just watching me do mine. I'm not telling you that's how you should do yours, but they look all the same to me. And we talked about it a little earlier. Why does this single out a small business? Not quite sure. And we've talked about this. States have most of the information. Why aren't they reporting it? It's simple. It's easier to build a database of millions of people if you make millions of people give the information instead of a small subset group trying to go get it. Now, FinCEN, if they want your information, they can get it. It's not, you're not going to stop them. So anyway, I believe that's all I had on telling you about BOI. So I think what we need to do now is we need to go to the FinCEN website. So with that said, let me make sure. Give me 1 second. Let me stop that sharing. Okay. Share again. Sorry, just making sure. I was making sure it was recording. I've already been hit once on this. Okay, I'm going to start the Google screen because I think there's a lot of people used to Google. And I'm just going to want you just to Google FinCEN BOI. And what you're going to notice that comes up is fincen.gov. If you're not at fincen.gov, don't click on it. Okay? So once we go into the FinCEN website, it looks like this. And again, you can see it is https://fincen.gov/BOI. This is the website you should be on. Any other website, get off of it. So the things I want to point out on this website before we file one is there's some alerts here on the page. One of the alerts, the first one, is letting you know that there's 5 notices extending the filing deadlines, and you can go and click on them. So for instance, there's Hurricane Helene. And you can go through it and read it. And it's now this one here, the initial BOI report is now instead due April 23rd, 2025. Anyway, there is a list here of counties that you can do, but most of North Carolina you're able to do. My point is, you do your own research on here and find out if you actually or have got extended time. This one's a big one. And again, they have it on their website. This site opened up on January 3rd. On January 10th, this came out. One of the reasons people didn't like this program is the fraud that's going on. We've already talked about it. There's people mailing out these forms 4022, 5102. It's all fraudulent. Again, FinCEN is doing nothing for you. Nothing. They're not even really sending anything out to tell you about it. So anything that you're getting in the mail is either a scam or a company trying to get your money. That's it. Again, telephone calls, please be aware of telephone calls, that those are scams. There is no fee to file a BOI directly with FinCEN. It's free. They do not send any correspondence saying that you owe them money. It even says, do not send money to any responses. Now, there are legitimate businesses out there that will file this for you. Usually those are attorney firms because, again, I can't do it. I could get accused of unauthorized practice of law. The main thing I want you to know is please be careful of the scams. They're huge. The last one I really thought it's been around for a while. This came up in March 11th, 2024. It's actually a case where the high court in, I believe it was Alabama, in Alabama, northern Alabama, they basically have found this unconstitutional, and people living in the northern district of Alabama don't have to participate. I really thought at this point this would be closed down, but it hasn't. Also, I want to point out this video. This is a 5-minute demo, which is going to basically do what I'm about to do. But you can watch this on YouTube, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that it's their website. They should, look at their video, but we're kind of going to go through it too. I want to point this little button out over here, this contact FinCEN. Some people say, well, Craig, I can't remember if I did a BOI report. Well, this little thing here produces a ticket, a little support ticket. You can always call their hotline, but this contact page form, if you will fill it out and put your name, phone number, organization on here, tell them that you're going after a beneficial ownership information of the Corporate Transparency Act, and you click over here, who, what, how to report, blah blah blah. If you go down here to BOE filing, and you just put a message in here, Mooresville Tax, has it filed yet? They have done a pretty good job of responding to people and letting them know, yes, we got it. No, we don't. So I did want you to know, or you can use this for other questions, but I did want you to know about the contact. See if I can get back to where I was. Let's go to home. Yep. There's the F bar I talked about earlier. So I went to their home one. Let me get back to where I was. Okay. Now, from this page, we're going to go file Mooresville Tax. Now, do keep in mind, I did this last Monday, so the results might not be exactly what they were before, but it's probably going to tell me I've already done it, which is fine. You still get to see it. So I clicked on that. Clicked on the file the BOI report. Right here, I want to file BOIR. That's what I want to do. It's going to bring up this, file the beneficial ownership information report. I want to prepare and submit online. I don't want to do a PDF and have to upload. I'm just going to prepare it all right now. It says you're entering the U.S. government informational system. Yes, we are. Now, the first page is the filing information. As you can see, you can file an initial report, which is what we're going to do today. And again, I did this last Monday, so I don't know what's going to happen here, but I am going to file an initial report. I could file a corrected report. Maybe I misspelled something. Maybe I put the wrong address. I could correct it. Remember, I got 30 days to when I find out about the error. Or I can update. Again, I may update a year from now if my address changes. Or I'm a newly exempt entity, which I'm not. So most of y'all should be clicking initial report. It's going to autofill today's date in it. And that's basically all you have to do on the first screen. So the first tab, filing information, we hit next, we're done. Now this is for the reporting company. This is your company's information, not your personal. So again, I am not going to request to get a FinCEN ID. Again, I haven't done it, don't know much about it. I don't have anyone that's a foreign pooled investment vehicle. So those two do not need to be checked. Now, you'll notice a red star. If the red star is out, I need to put something. Well, the reporting company's legal name is Mooresville Tax Service Incorporated. Okay? If I had an alternate name, this is where I'd enter the alternate name, but I do not. Select an ID. I am going to put the tax identification number for Mooresville Tax in here, which is 822451114. Okay. You'll notice that I don't have a foreign tax ID, so these are grayed out. It's asking me which country. United States of America. State of formation. Remember, I told you that's where it went through the Secretary of State. Well, obviously mine is North Carolina. Again, this is all pretty simple stuff. Now it's asking for the address of the current address of the company. It's 907 Raleigh School Road. Many of y'all have already been here before. City Mooresville, United States of America, North Carolina. 28117. Real quick before I hit next, please notice up here on the EIN, it does not want you to put a dash in. Okay. So do not, I know there's a dash in on the 9-digit EIN number. They don't want it. They want it whole like that. So that is all my information for morsel tax. So we're going to hit next. Now we're going to get into the company applicants. Now, anybody that had a company as of January 1st, 2024, you're an existing company. Even says here, check if existing reporting company as of January 1st. Most of y'all are. And the great news is you just click box 16 and guess what? It just disabled the rest of this page. That's wonderful. I was an existing company, so that's what I'm going to click. Now, if by some chance you became a company January 1st, 2024 or later, you should have filed within what? 90 days. So you could already be late. But what they're wanting there is they are wanting information about who filed. And here's where I don't understand it's going to work out. You have a lot of attorneys, accountants that are filing these entities on behalf of clients. But according to FinCEN and their little 5-minute video, take a look at it. They expect you to get your attorney or your CPA's last name, first name, not a big deal. But they also want that attorney and CPA's date of birth. Then they also want the address of that person who filled it out for you and applied for you. Then they want the ID. So what you're going to find is a bunch of attorneys and accountants are going to be like, we're not giving you all that information. I'm not giving you a copy of my driver's license, but that's what it's asking for. Again, the good news, most of y'all are going to click this box, which is going, that screen's done. So if someone has questions that did it after January 1st, 2024, I will try to answer the best that I can. But yeah, obviously you are welcome to seek legal advice. But I do know that morsel tax was existing before January 1st, 2024, makes it easier. So I'm going to hit next. Now we're getting into the beneficial owner. Here's what they want to know about me. They want to know all about me. Well, I am not a minor child, so I skipped this one. Once again, I am not dealing with FinCEN ID, and I am not an exempt entity in this case. So they want my name. Well, my last name, Lancaster, first name, Craig. I have to put my birth date in here. They want to know my residential address, not my working address. So I'm putting this in. Oops. It'd help if I get the right country, right? North Carolina, 27292. Gotta pick my driver's license. United States, North Carolina. And here I am supposed to drag and drop my driver's license in here, which is what I just did. Now I have filled out the first beneficial ownership information on me. However, I know many of y'all don't know this. My wife is actually part owner here. So technically, I am supposed to add her. So I'm going to hit this Add Beneficial Owner button, and now I have a second beneficial owner. Once again, she's not a minor child. I am not worried about a FinCEN ID, and she is not an exempt entity. Therefore, I am going to put her information in here. And we're going to fill in all hers out. As you can see, y'all, this is nothing that hard at all. Whoops. Would help if I knew. All right. Once again, they want the an ID, unfortunately. And now you'll notice that I've already got this in a PDF form. So you do want to have your license ready in a PDF or a JPEG form, just so you can drag and drop it. I've already got them ready in a file folder. I would tell you that it's going to help you save time if you do that before you get into this process. Now, at this point, I have done the filing information, the reporting company, the company applicant, because I didn't need to do that. I've done beneficial owners. Now I'm ready to submit. Basically, all I need to do is put in my email address, what I'm doing, putting in my last name. I'm certifying that I've done this to the best of my knowledge. I am going to have to answer this question twice. Count the animals in each circle and select the circle with the highest number of animals. Well, I'm going to go with that one. And I'm going to hit next. Then it's telling me to do the same thing again. They'll make you do two. Then you go hit verify. Now I'm showed that I'm a human. Now at this point, I am ready to submit. Again, I have already done this, so I am not 100% sure what's going to happen at this point, but I'm going to hit the submit button anyway. I may get an error that says, hey, you've already submitted, because I did do it on Monday at the live webinar. So let's find out together. It is trying to submit. Well, it said rejected. And the reason it got rejected is because I've already done it. So that is the problem, I'm sure. Initial BOI already has been filed for the reporting company. Please try again if this problem persists. Now, I have, like I said, I had already filed. I will tell you, let me see. Let me see if I can, bear with me. Trying to see if I kept a copy. The bottom line is once it's filed, what you need to do is you need to print it out and also save the downloaded transcript. Okay, so you want to save this here. Yours is not going to read rejected, but you want to save this. And basically, y'all, that's all there is to it. It's really just plugging and playing. Um, I, I know I told you I'd be 15 minutes. I do apologize. The other night it went longer than this because people were asking questions. Um, but that's basically it in a nutshell. Um, Once again, I mean, I'm willing to try to answer what I can, but it is not legal advice. I'm not charging anything. I'm definitely not an expert on it, but it is not that hard. And I really think that if you just look at it, it's like filling out anything you'd fill out every day for some type of application. I do appreciate it. If you do have questions, you're welcome to call my office or email me. Do keep in mind, I know I take a couple days to get back an email, but I do stay quite busy. I appreciate you watching and look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. Thanks a lot and have a great day.